Where is Bolsonaro? What did he say? Bolsonaro has been in Florida this entire time. We've seen him walking around. I believe it was Orlando. We've seen him eating KFC. We've seen him just shopping at a grocery store, doing finger guns at the camera of the guy who was filming him. But alas, he's currently in the hospital, guys. He really needs to focus on his gut health. He has checked into a hospital in Florida with abdominal pain. He has numerous health problems since surviving a stabbing in 2018. That is right. Look, in case you're feeling a little pang of sympathy, don't have sympathy. This man is an incredible bigot and a fascist, and absolutely deserves to feel abdominal pain. I'm not saying he deserves to be stabbed, but he deserves to have some abdominal pain. He was taken to the hospital for tests on Monday after feeling abdominal discomfort. He is all right, Faria told Reuters, confirming earlier local news reports that the president was taken to the army hospital in Brasilia for tests. I think he's not in Brasilia, however. He will stay in the hospital overnight. Two things. One is that he did put out a statement, so I want to go to what Jair Bolsonaro, former president of Brazil, did say about the insurrection in Brasilia. He says peaceful demonstrations in the form of law are part of democracy. However, depredations and invasions of public buildings, as occurred today, as well as those practiced by the left in 2013 and 2017, escape the rule. Sort of a rough translation there, but he's effectively saying, don't do this, guys. This is illegal. But the left did it in 2013 and 2017. So kind of a wink, wink, nod, nod. Maybe they do it too. So it's okay to do it. And I also want to note that he's been in the United States, and a lot of folks, including, I believe Representative Castro, Julian Castro said, or Joaquin Castro, my bad. Joaquin Castro said, we need to extradite Bolsonaro from the United States back to Brazil, right? He doesn't belong in the United States, abdominal pain or not. Why is he seeking refuge here in the United States? I mean, again, just another sort of Latin American dictator seeking refuge in Florida, nothing really new. But what do you make of that?
I don't know, it's just funny that everybody ends up in Florida at some point, whether it's like mafia guys on the run or in witness protection or, deposed former right-wing presidents / dictators, just ends up in Florida. It's just something in the water over there, I guess, where people, enjoy it. It's interesting politically. Why would the United States be cool with harboring this guy, knowing all the things that he's involved with down there in Brazil? But again, like Florida is just a rest haven for all kinds of people, from north, south, east, west. They just love it there, friend.
They really do, and and Mar-a-Lago too. There's always a bed open. The last thing I wanted to mention is that apparently while he has been at Mar-a-Lago, Bolsonaro has been getting some political advice from the likes of Stephen Miller and Steve Bannon. The Steves are on the case. Again, back to my globalism remark, they're trying to give him pointers and tips on where to go from here. I would say F off into the night. Maybe Steve Bannon would say something different. In fact, Bannon truthed, I believe, bleated Brazilian freedom fighters with a video or a news outlet, news caption: breaking Bolsonaro supporters have stormed the National Congress. Brazilian freedom fighters. If there was any question, I mean, these people keep on incriminating themselves. Here we have recommendations to criminally charge the former president Donald Trump, and you've got one of his top advisors saying these are freedom fighters. Like, the evidence is just endless. And again, it's gonna continue unless any of these people are held accountable. Before we leave this, my question is, are we gonna see more accountability in Brazil, right? In then the supposed greatest democracy on earth? Will Lula actually hold some folks accountable for what happened, or faster than we've done in this state, in this country?
Man, it's hard to say, because as I mentioned earlier, he did cut deals with a bunch of elites, and obviously they're gonna want their bidding done. And then there's the work that he wants to do for actual people. So you wonder how much political will be behind score settling and holding these fools accountable. Like you wonder if they have the bandwidth, if Lula's government will have the bandwidth to handle their obligations and prosecute these fools. And I do want to say something to, you're mentioning, I think quite astutely, of the global solidarity of people on the right. I think Bannon understands that any movement, any right-wing movement needs to have a global lens. And he needs to be explaining to people on the right that there are wins happening. People need to see their movement, their ideology winning anywhere, somewhere. And if you can connect the wins, even however pitiful this win might be, a bunch of guys taking selfies during a quote unquote riot, he's gonna do that. And I think on the left, we have a harder time connecting left wing wins globally. But yeah, as Steve Bannon, he's a lot of things, but he's not an idiot. And he does understand the need to to connect a global right wing movement to things that we're doing here in America. And so yeah, this is, it's sad, but yeah, Steve Bannon is doing what he's meant to be doing.
Yes, being the sort of like evil Wizard of Oz, the like fashy Wizard of Oz, they're just covered in liver spots.
For more political news, breakdowns, interviews, stories of activism, and me trying my hardest to care about the occasional big celebrity news story, subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/The Damage Report. And you can ring the bell wherever it is so you don't miss anything.